Good day. It's your boy, better yet, your man, Markel Prines, Mr. Hustleverse. And I want to welcome you guys to episode 2 of the Hustleverse Podcast. In this episode right here, I'm very excited because I have a very special guest with me here today. Me and this lady here have been communicating for a couple of months now. And the one thing that I like and love about her is her energy, her passion for online marketing, and her absolute commitment to what it is that she does. When I talk about hustle, this is the type of person that I'm talking about. Somebody that's really serious about their craft and that's really dedicated to making things happen. This is the perfect person for you guys to get to know and to connect with, because this is the type of person that you want to be in partnership with. I always talk about on my live how you need to find people to be in partnership with instead of being a customer. So before I actually introduce her, I want to start out with what I normally do with my regular lives. I want to start out with what I call the food for action moment. So I want to give you guys a quote that hopefully inspires and motivates you and get you on the right path, or help you open up and have the right mindset to get started on your online journey. So this one goes like this. It's real short and simple. The version of you on day one was not a mistake. He was the down payment on the person you are right now. So that right there to me is very powerful, because I talk about on my live when I do what I call the Hustlers 10-minute a day challenge live. I've already gone live over 125 times consecutively, consistently, without missing a beat, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. EST time. And the person that I was in the beginning is not the same person that I am now today. That person in the beginning, he had some skills, but he didn't have the commitment, the dedication. He didn't have the confidence. He wasn't able to speak as clearly as he is able to today. And today, I want to introduce you to someone that might not have had the confidence in the beginning, but through her dedication and her commitment and the fact that she's awesome at what she does, she's able to come on and have the confidence and share with you what she's learned along her journey. So I would like to introduce you guys to one of my favorite people online, period, and that's Miss Mia Maltezos. And I always wanted to say, I wanted to ask if I'm saying your name right, but every time I look at your name and I say Maltezos, I'm like, I hope I'm saying that correctly.
Uh, well, I guess the English version's Maltezos, but the Greek version would be Maltezos. So that's how you
Oh,
pronounce it.
okay. Okay, so the Greek version. So, and that was going to be
Yeah.
one of my questions, like where are you from? And hey, we want to get our audience to get to know you. So of course I was going to ask, I already know, but I wanted to ask where you originally from and everything like that, and how did you actually get started in your online journey?
Oh man, it's a long answer. Um, so I'm from Philly originally, and then I moved out here in the suburbs when I was a teenager. My parents got divorced, and that's what happened. Um, that was short and sweet. But how I started online business, it kind of just so happened. Um, I'm trying to figure out how to start it. It basically started with my job. I am a quality control analyst, and I actually love my job, but unfortunately, not everybody loves me. Um, I was hired to take someone's role when he retires, and when your higher ups tell you to change the lab or change your environment to make it better, but then you have a grouchy old man who's stuck in his ways, doesn't like it, so then he complains every single day because he doesn't like change. So, unfortunately, HR got involved and they transferred me to make it peaceful because he's been with the company for 35 years. So I kind of was like a win-lose situation because they did promote me, but at the same time, am I stuck where I'm at? Because I'm an analyst too. where I wanted to be a team lead, a manager, because in all my other jobs I ever worked at, I moved up being a manager. So that being said, when I found out that I was not going to be moving up, I went to oh shit mode. What am I going to do? Because daycare is 800 a week in summertime. Okay, so I cannot afford that. I do not have that income. So I would post constantly on social media, but like, hey, does anyone have like a remote job position? Because I already have a full-time job. I can't have a second full-time job physically. I have to do something remotely. And I was looking everything up. I was researching because I'm a Virgo, so I research the crap out of everything. But anyways, my one family friend was like, "Hey Mia, check this out." And it was a video of affiliate marketing. I was like, "Oh my God, I could do this. I could do this, you know?" So I went on YouTube, I researched everything. I added myself to every free webinar. I mean, literally every moment I had, I soaked it up with free shit. um, so that's how I started. And I started with blogging. It is not for me, came to find out. I learned a lot. ChatGPT was my coach, 1000%. It taught me how to do websites and HTML coding, which me being a hairdresser does not know anything about coding, let alone building a damn website. But yeah, that was my journey. And then I started Pinterest, not Pin, yeah, Pinterest. Then I started knowing about OSP. So that was my journey.
Wow, wow. So that is interesting. That's very interesting that you said you started out with blogging. Um,
Mhm.
in my journey, well, I've been in the industry for about over 15 years now. And I didn't get into blogging until maybe 3 or so years ago. And the reason why is because it helps you to get that organic traffic. So it's one of those great ways of communicating with people. And one of the principles of course, online marketing, affiliate marketing, or whatever you want to call it, is that you want to be able to touch people at different points in their journey, in their buying journey. So one of the things that I've learned is that, of course, when people are looking for products and services that's going to help them, they might see an advertisement. After they see the ad, then they want to know what about that product is good. So they'll usually do a Google search, and on there, in order to find the answers, they'll go straight to a blog. They'll go to something that says, hey, is this a legit product or service? Is this a scam or not? And they'll read that blog article just to get more information. So part of being able to take a person from an open-minded person about a product to educating them to converting them to a customer, I wanted to follow that path. And that's what led me to actually doing blogging. So I've done it for a couple of years. I haven't been consistent with the blogging. Me personally, I've never been into like writing like that. But like you said, with the Chat GPT, it's been one of those things that's helped me out a lot. And of course, with the AI technology, it's only really came about in the last 2 years. So before this, everything was so manual. So I was trying to write blogs myself and different articles, trying to come up with how do you craft this stuff. But with AI, it definitely helped. So I would say you're one of those type of people that I know you're a great conversationalist, and being able to use that to your advantage and being able to use the AI and the technology would probably be you would be a great blogger. So, or now, they have a lot of people that do, instead of blogs, they call it vlogging, but that is definitely an avenue that, I hope that you keep pursuing doing the blogs, because I plan on continuing it myself. Um, and I know that with your career and the things that you're passionate about, you just mentioned that being a hairdresser. So tell me about that, because I know that you're into beauty and fashion and stuff like that. And we definitely want to touch on one of your passions with makeup and stuff like that. So tell me about that with your being a hairstylist and your beauty stuff. Like, tell me about how did you get into that?
Oh my goodness. I've been into beauty since I was probably a baby, quite honestly. Like I was always put makeup on. I was in ballet tapping jazz, did my hair, did the whole red lipstick with like pouted red cheeks. My mom, like the pageant look. But what was it? I think I was like 8 or 10 years old. I told my family, I was like, yes, I want to be a hairdresser. And everyone in my family doubted me, but my great grandmother, because they're like, oh, you don't get paid a lot, it's not a career to go to, So I started out cutting my brother's hair. I have two brothers, so they were my guinea pigs. Very
They
sad
trusted you to do
guinea
that?
pigs.
At what
No,
age were you doing that?
but I've been cutting hair since I was like 10 years old. And I did pursue it. I went to tech school in high school. And it was like 3 years of cosmetology. And then sorry, my daughter just came out. Oh, I got sidetracked. And actually, junior year cosmetology, I had a teacher that told me that I would never get my license. So my junior year teacher, she was so mean. She bullied me like crazy. Just because I was not good at written exams, but I am like 100% great at hands-on stuff. Like that was just my thing. But I struggled with a learning disability. So I actually didn't know I had ADHD until legit a few years ago. Okay.
Wow.
Yes. Like my
Now,
brother,
don't call it a disability. I, you know,
it's a
people
gift,
with
whatever.
yes, yes, because that means you're usually people with that condition. I would say I don't want to call it a disability because it's not. They
Mhm.
usually have a laser focus on something specific, and they know a lot about certain things, and it's just like you can hone in on certain things. So definitely, it's like a superpower.
Yes, I am a random fact girl. Um, but yeah, so I was saying that my teacher said I would never be able to get my license because I was not good at this or that, and I wanted to prove her wrong. So, so senior year I graduated, so I got my hours. I had to basically pay for the testing, which is very expensive, by the way. Um, there were so many people there. Like I remember it to this day. So many people, it's like hundreds of people doing a test, hands-on work, and you just have a person walking around seeing if you did good or not. Obviously I aced it. But then with the written one, the first time around, I failed it by 1 point. One
Oh,
freaking point. And I had to go and pay again to go and redo the testing, the written test at least, not the physical. Passed it. And I honestly had dreams of like taking my license and shove it in her face. Man, look what I did. Okay, I did it,
right.
but I didn't. I didn't want to do that, but in my brain it felt great.
See, I'm petty. I would have did that shit. I would have been like, yo,
Oh
hey, yo,
no!
look what I did. You told me I couldn't do it, and look what happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I did hair professionally for about 5 years. And well, came to find out I have polycystic ovarian syndrome, which is very hard to manage. Trying to have kids or hormones in general, it's just everything was out of whack. I gained so much weight. And at the time, I was engaged and married, and he was like, "Oh, why don't you change jobs so you can have a better medical insurance, because being a hairdresser, you don't have medical insurance really. It's basically if it would be off on him, but he worked for his dad, so it was no go. Anyways, so I was more determined to have a family than to keep with my career. And
Got you.
then came to find out, he was jealous of the fact that I had a lot of male clients. But unfortunately, when you're like I'm gonna call it a chop shop, because it's one of those fast-paced salons, most of the time men are there. I had a huge booking. Everyone thought I was the manager. Like it was just a fun experience, but at the same time boring because where I was at was not challenging me. I wanted to learn more, and in order to do that, you have to be in a private salon, which is a hit or miss on staying in one because let's face it, they're expensive. It's just expensive, and not a lot of people go and do that. Anyways, so that's how I went into the pharmaceutical field, and then here I am.
Wow. Wow. So guess you have a very interesting journey. So you went from
Yes.
the hairstylist and now I know where we met in this particular opportunity that allows us to learn the necessary skills that all business owners need, the skill of marketing. So in our particular opportunity, we learn those skills and we're able to apply it to any and everything that we would like to. We also get provided the tools that we need to build our like our websites, our whole marketing ecosystem. And I know one of your passions that you've actually gotten into besides this opportunity is with the makeup.
Mhm.
And you actually promote a particular company, a particular product line of makeup, and you have your YouTube channel, so you're starting to get into doing more of those videos. Tell me about how you actually got started with that particular company and what made you decide to, get into that particular niche.
Well, it just like so happens I fell into it. It's just the same thing with what we're into now, you know? So I was a part of this woman's group, and this girl, she posted about this Ricky mirror. It was $20. And she basically explained it would be great for your lives and all that jazz. And with Wayne wanting to us to do our lives and videos, and I'm trying really hard to like do it. 'Cause, you never know what to say when you do lives. And it was $20. I was like, all right, cool. So I was like, where can I get this mirror? Because I want a mirror that's fancy and I could do my lives on. I can put my phone on it and just start talking or whatever. Well, anyways, one thing led to another. In order to get the Ricky mirror is that you have to become a beauty guide. But she's like, you don't have to like promote it or anything. Tell her I said she has to. Thank you. So she said, you don't have to promote being a beauty guide. You can just get the mirror and then you can cancel and blah, blah. I'm like, all right, cool. That's what happened. And that's how it started. And I was like, in the beginning, I was like, I'll just go and just get this mirror and call it a day. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, kind of like the makeup. Let me try and figure this out. This is what happens when you're a mom.
Hey, definitely it's okay. It's always, it's always the things that, a lot of people, everyday people, they feel as though, there's certain things in their lives that they do it for. And that's a
Hmm.
great example that you have. You have your children, you have the fact that obviously your girls, they want mom. They want mom's attention. So the ability to be able to provide not only financially, but be able to give them the attention, that's also something that I find that a lot of people online that they're looking for. It's not just the financial income that comes with a online business doing affiliate marketing. It's more so the ability of that extra freedom, that time freedom to be able to give to our loved ones. So definitely that definitely shows right there that you're needed, and that's a great feeling. That's a great thing to have when the kids want to pull you away from what you're doing and you don't have, well, I'm busy right now, but this industry allows for you to be able to
Hmm.
be yourself. It's not like you have to work in an environment where you have your supervisor looking over you and they're like, well, you have to go to break at this time, or you can't have any phone calls, or you take a phone call, you might get a strike or something like that. You can actually have your kids right there with you, either sitting in your lap if you want, if they're yelling, screaming, whatever it is, and you're able to still operate a profitable, fun business. So what I want to do right now is I want to transition over to one of the apps that Wayne actually created. And it's an app that actually allows us to get random questions. So I'm going to click on the surprise me, and it's going to pick from a random category. and it's going to ask a specific question. And let's see what it comes up with. Wow, this one right here is a good one. This is a good question. Actually, on my live earlier today, I was talking about a situation where someone posted about their passion and they actually got negative comments. They actually, it was a situation where a guy was talking about how he loves AI music, and it actually led to a lot of people unfriending him just because he has a passion for AI music. So this particular question says, how do you handle negative comments or trolls on your content? Now, I know you probably don't ever get any of that. I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think anybody would try to send you any negative comments because you definitely keep everything positive. But have you ever gotten any negative comments? And if you have, how have you handled those comments or trolls?
I think it was only on YouTube where I had a negative comment. Like for instance, it wasn't even me doing a video. It's like one of those commercial videos that I had. And the one woman was like, "That's not how you put lotion on your face." I was like, mm. Or she said it like she worded it some way where that's not how you do it. And I'm like, how am I supposed to like tweet this shit? Like I went and screenshot it. I'm like, ChatGPT, how do I be nice about telling her she's wrong? And then and then they're giving me options. I'm like, I don't like it. Regardless, I would tell her she's wrong, but so I asked one of my beauty guides, and she's like, just say, everybody does everything different. And I'm like, ugh, fine, I'll say that. So I did, and I went and looked that person up, because when the person goes to say something negative, it's like, all right, let me see what you got, okay? And that woman, she only had one video from 3 years ago talking about she's a scientist of some sort. I don't really know. And I'm like, bitch, I know scientists too, so I can go and like one up you. Anyways, I said something positive back and she never responded. So I was like, okay, I'm good.
That's that's funny because I could see you actually, you know, that's one thing about us from the north, I would say. So me being from New York, I always say, hey, I'm petty. I have my petty tendencies, and you being from Philly, I know you probably just as petty. So you could have came off all kinds of ways, but in this online marketing industry, it's like it's it's kind of like politics in a way. A lot of times you try to be politically correct. You don't want to say the wrong thing or offend somebody too much. You want to be able to control it in such a way, but sometimes people will push you to the point where, you're like, man, I gotta respond. Me personally, I've had that happen to me in the past, and I I used my pettiness to actually respond back. I used technology and AI to even, go further than just doing a simple post back to them. I created a video and everything and just went in. I think I even created a song also and went in. I wanted them to definitely understand how I felt about what was said. And, you know, I ended up having to block them because I didn't want to stay in that cycle of going back and forth because I know that probably I wouldn't have stopped. So I didn't want that to be my main focus when I was trying to push something and do something positive. So definitely, just like I stated in my live earlier today, you will run across situations where people won't be positive about everything that you do. I even said, hey, to the extent that somebody might not like the way that you breathe. If you take a breath too deep, they'll tell you, hey, you doing that wrong. So it's always going to be somebody. But one of the challenges and one of the fun parts also is being able to take the feedback, move forward, and sometimes not even look at the comments. That's why one of those secrets to success or one of those key things in the industry is when you're posting and you're sharing information, we often use what they call a CTA, a call to action in our posts, where we're asking people to respond with a specific word or comment. so that we're able to just go through our post and go through the comments swiftly and see who actually responded with that particular word that we asked them to use, so that we don't get caught up in just seeing and reading whatever other type of comments. Some people might want to say awesome and applaud you, but we are looking for those specific people that, for one, can actually follow instructions. So those people that, if we say, hey, comment hustle if you want this type of information, then they're going to actually comment hustle and respond back to us. So that's one of the things that, is one of those teachable moments. And I want you guys that's watching to actually understand that. If you're considering joining any affiliate marketing company or product or service, no matter what it is, just know that there's going to be challenges. And with those challenges, as I call them, with those scars, every scar has instructions. And once when you figure out all of the key things that's going to happen to you, you figure out ways to actually maneuver around it. So a CTA is great for multiple reasons. It's great for being able to find and target your particular lead, your particular customer, and have them respond directly to you in the way that you want them to. And also with that particular CTA, using various automated tools, you might not even have to look at the comments at all. You can have a tool that sets up, an automatic response based off of that particular keyword that you want your lead to respond to, and that can help you avoid the comment section altogether. So I want to go on to another question here. I want to see what the next question is. And we have, what's the biggest mistake you see beginners make in affiliate marketing?
Mm, that's a tough one because it can be a lot. I'll just have an example of myself just because I know what I did. Um, I would say the unknown on not knowing what to do. Because you're doing everything and well, you think you're doing everything, but you're really not. You're just doing blah nothing. Like, I'm trying to think of what I did. I think I was more fixated on fixing things than actually, was it creating content, trying to get revenue? You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like for instance, with me, my website kept crashing constantly. So I was more focused on fixing this darn thing and not figuring out how can I just not deal with a website?
Right.
And I don't know. I don't know what else to say. I think like trying to simplify things. I don't know. What are your
Yeah,
thoughts?
I think I think what you're saying is something that a lot of people probably experience. You might not feel as though you're wording it the right way, but I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that a lot of beginners make. They feel like they have to fix everything, like everything has to be perfect. If something technical breaks, then they might put their focus solely on making that, not only just fixing it, but how do I make it even better? And they start taking away from
Mm-hmm.
the time that they can spend doing the activities or the income producing activities that we talk about. One of the biggest uh, benefits to the particular system that we're part of is that we have a marketing system, a blueprint that's designed to help us with 95% of all of the technical work. So the websites, the funnels, all of those things are already created for us. All of the copy and everything like that is there for us so that we can do the basic thing, being able to speak to our communities, be able to communicate with people, do our simple post, either if it's a video post or text post, and be able to share the particular opportunity or product or service that we're promoting. And that system allows for us to have that comfort in the beginning. And while we're learning how to, communicate, because communication is basically 90+% of the game. being able to communicate, being able to convey a message is the biggest part. But while we're learning and mastering that, then we move on to the technical. Okay, we already have our predetermined websites and everything, our funnels set up. Now we start thinking about, okay, I want to learn how to do those aspects and create my own landing pages, my own funnels. But in the beginning, as even our business partner Wayne, he states, "Hey, just don't worry about all of those particular things. Stay focused on the part that you need to learn in the beginning, which is getting your confidence up, learning the necessary foundational skills so that you have the confidence to speak through that. Because the majority of people online, they want to build the online income, but they really don't want to get into the technical aspect. They want something that's kind of done for them and something that if they have, a 9 to 5 job, if they have children at home, they don't want to have to go from working 8, 10 hours a day, coming home, taking care of the kids, cooking and everything like that, and then still have to put in another 4 or 5 hours working on a website or something like that. So I would say for me, one of my biggest mistakes when I started was not partnering with the right person. When I think about it now, I think about the fact that just about every opportunity online is legit. I would say 95% of the opportunities online you can make an income with. They're legit. The fact that they say this is the percentage that we actually pay, and if you do the work, this is how much you'll earn from that, commission from that. So that's usually set in stone. The rest of it is on you. But the thing that I've learned is that partnering with the right person that's going to actually be there as a partner and teammate is one of those biggest mistakes that people make in the beginning. They often just they see a post from someone, they don't know who the person is, they don't know if they actually have any real skills or value to bring, but they'll click on their link, join the opportunity, and then they won't be left with any type of help. They won't have anybody of reference to go back to. And it really depends on what system, what type of program you're part of. There's a lot of people who aren't as fortunate as we are to have a business partner such as Wayne, who actually does the coaching and the mentoring. We have other business partners within the organization that do the coaching and mentoring for us, so we don't have to actually be on camera. All we have to do is really bring people to the table. So that's what it means to be in partnership and have the right, system behind you. So that's what I would say about that as far as the biggest mistake that I've come across. And let me see. Let's do one more question from the list. And then I know that the children is are waiting for you. The girls they want their mommy back, so we're not going to
I feel
take
like
up too
it's
much
always
more of the
when
time.
you're doing something, they just want your attention. I'm like, you were quiet for hours, and then all of a sudden you were like annoying.
They know what time it is. They know it's just like sometimes, shoot, I don't have any small kids here, but a lot of times I'll be doing a live and my cat will start doing some stuff random. I'll hear him messing with his little tunnel thing. He going running through the tunnel and making a lot of noise. And
Mm.
I'm like, okay, is my microphone? I know it got the sound canceling. So can people hear it or whatever? But it just seemed like he does it at that particular time. But
Hmm.
like I said, once again, the great thing about this industry is that none of that really matters. The fact
Yeah.
that the kids can run across the screen if they want, and you can still operate a business. There's millions of moms out there that wish that they were in a situation where they can build a profitable business and have their children around and run around and not miss a beat. And that actually adds more value to the person because that lets the world know that you're a real person, that you have real life things going on. And in the midst of that, you're still able to do what's necessary to build your business. So, last question right here, we're going to ask from the app. And let's see. How do you know when it's time to pivot versus when to persist?
Oh.
I know
I
this
don't
one probably
know.
kind of like a
That
tough
was,
one
that
right
was a
here.
little, that's hard. Like, I don't, why did you do that one? I skip this one. Can I skip it?
You
No,
want to skip?
I want to
Okay, we're gonna do
skip.
like a drink champs. We're
Okay.
gonna do like a
Yes,
drink champs. All
yes.
right, you take the drink. We'll skip. All right, so let's
Until I like it. No, I'm just kidding.
let's skip that. Let's just go to another one. Oh man,
Oh, this one better not be hard.
this one is a weird one too. It says, "How do you deal with affiliate link fatigue in your audience?" Hmm.
Oh, link fatigue in my audience. I don't know. I don't even know how to like. What does that
Like that's a
mean?
weird question,
It is a
right?
very weird question.
I'm gonna take that question to mean it's kind of like, in a way, it makes me think of what we talk about in the industry of the shiny object syndrome, where there's so many different products and services that you can, you see something like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And affiliate link fatigue makes me think of that, where you have all of these various links that go to this place, this product or service, and you're sharing that with your audience. One day you're sharing this link to this, the next day you're giving them a different link for something else. It's like they're wondering, okay, what is it going to be today? Is this person laser focused on one thing, or are they just sporadic? They just do a whole bunch of stuff, and your audience gets fatigued, I guess, by the fact they
Oh,
don't know who you are, or what
hmm.
what are you really
Oh,
promoting.
oh, I don't have that problem.
Yeah, I was just saying, yeah, you don't have that issue
You
because
know, I'm very like ABC structured person. Obviously, I'll be promoting what Wayne has. Like for instance, the one-on-one Facebook, because you should know how to do Facebook.
right,
Um, which is aligns with what I'm going for anyways. It's just sometimes it could be a slightly different link, but it's all in the same portal.
right,
That makes sense. Mhm.
absolutely.
Like I,
And
I could see with my makeup where I'm always showing different products. That I think is more natural to see different products from the same company than it is what you were saying with different links with different what software products or something. Is that is that
right,
is that right?
yeah, yeah, that's what I take that to mean. Yeah, having that,
Yeah.
one day you're talking about, makeup, then you're talking about uh anything else that's outside of that. You go from beauty
Oh,
to health and wellness, and then you go to this, that, and the third, and then your audience is like, well, which
yeah.
one is she really a master at, and which one can she actually help me with? And that I said that's the last question from there, but
But
it's a
wait,
good
wait, wait, wait.
segment.
Let me just comment on it before you keep going because I know you can keep talking. So I will say this. In the beginning, when I with the makeup thing, because I was with OSP first before the makeup, I was intertwining both of them because technically I was going to strategize and be like, hey, this is how I learned how to market with this program. And this is what I'm promoting is my makeup. I was trying to intertwine with that, but it was getting too much. Too
Yeah,
much. I was able to organize it, but at the same time, it just seemed confusing. I was confusing my chat GPT with all my information. So I was like, all right, fine. I just sat down. I didn't sit down physically, but I basically told my beauty guys, I'm like, hey, you're gonna have to delete me from this Facebook. I'm gonna have you on my personal Facebook because I know a lot of makeup artists, I know a lot of hairdressers that might even like this makeup. So I had to separate the two to make it more to make sense. So
that's a
here you go.
great answer. Yeah.
Yes.
See that poses a whole nother perspective too. We talk about fatigue in our audience, but it could be fatigue in us. We thinking
Mm-hmm.
about, hey, this, that, and the third. Do I promote this today? Do I promote that tomorrow? And how do I craft something that's really laser focused to speak to my audience so that I feel comfortable, that I'm confident in my expertise? And I wanted to close out with this because I know you have a special offering that goes along, that's laser focused, that goes along with our particular system. you've created your own guide to how to operate in the DMs, which is something that you kind of specialize in. So you have your prompts, and that's one of your what we call a lead magnet that helps people who have, issues with being conversational, with, doing that aspect of the business, talking to somebody in the DMs. They might not know what to actually say, and you actually were able to crack the code to how to, build relationships in the DM. So I want you to talk to our audience about that, like your I forget the exact title of it, but the 50 prompts for.
No, I actually don't exactly remember the whole title, but realistically, the weird thing is people just talk to me. It's never me reaching out, which is what you want in the end, and I just gather so much information from random marketers. And it's not even with the same niche. They're like, there's one person with nails, another person with a different program, or multiple different programs, and or coaching, or they have special titles, but at the end of the day, they're still coaches. Um, and it's just they're learning me and I'm learning them, and it's just a natural conversation. And even though like we don't mesh, I guess we're because we're both selling each other, you can't really, it doesn't work.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I'm like, hey, even though I don't agree with your weight loss thing or your nails, I would still love to like be friends with you. Can we still connect? And they're like, yes, of course. And then that's how you gain the friendship. So that's how I do it.
Awesome, awesome. And we're just going to wrap up this episode, the second episode of the Hustleverse podcast. And we definitely want to make sure that everyone connects with Mia to learn more about what it is that she does, to actually get a copy of that exclusive document that you have. I know, are you still offering that for free, or is that a paid document now?
It's for free still. I still got it.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, it's very valuable. I'll tell everybody that it's valuable. I'm on your email list, so I get your email notices, and definitely even the email notices, the email sequences. That's another powerful thing that helps people become successful in the industry. Being able to follow up. So in the DMs, being able to respond to somebody, that's one of those income producing activities. Being able to build know, like, and trust with your audience is very powerful. A lot of people might try to focus on the things that's less important, like, hey, how do I fix this particular app? How do I make this work perfectly? But Mia is focused on the things that actually move the needle, being able to communicate. So I want you guys to, comment under this video so that you can get access to her personal DM structure, which will help you. If you're, as a lot of people call themselves or consider themselves to be introverts, if you feel as though, hey, the reason why you're not starting a business is because you don't know what to say to a person, her document will absolutely help you in that situation and be able to move you from, being uncomfortable to being very comfortable with speaking with people. And you can see her personality. She's lively, she's bubbly, she's a great person to connect with. So if you can be, a replica or anything like her, then of course people are going to be attracted to you also. And that will help you be successful in your business. So once again, I want to thank you, Mia, for being the second guest on the podcast. And hopefully, I'm not going to ask you on here, but I definitely want you to come back and, either, you're going to come back being interviewed again, or we're going to do the co-host type situation where we interview somebody else. So,
Okay.
that's definitely something that I would like to do. And is there anything else that you want to leave our audience with before you go?
Oh God, I hate being put on the spot because my brain goes blank. Okay. Um, happy marketing. That's like my go-to sometimes. That's it. I'm sorry.
Hey, that's good enough. Happy marketing.
Yeah.
Definitely want to create situations where you're happy and you're marketing. So with that, we want to thank you for joining us. And I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode and look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Have a great rest of your day.
I give you food.